Okay, so this video is going to be about running a purpose-driven business, and we're going to go through a little workbook to kind of talk about what that exactly looks like. So I've sent you the purpose-driven workbook. It's in your email, and it's also in um, our Facebook group. So like I said, I've kind of been taking this course, and it's teaching you basically how to have your business stand out. And so I'm going to kind of walk you through this workbook and kind of talk about how you go about doing this. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out what your strengths are. And there's these free strength finder tests. And here's the links for them. Some of you might have already taken it. So after you take this test, you want to list what your top 5 strengths are. And so you can like print this out and write the notes in, or you can like type it in since it's a Word document, but just write down like what your top 5 strengths are. So for me, I'm achiever, disciplined, positive, woo, and connectedness. So and generally when you get your strengths test, it comes with a list of descriptions, things that you like describe what it is and kind of give you an idea, and it might, kind of spark some ideas for you. So then after you do your strengths, you need to ask yourself these questions here. So things like, and these are kind of hard to do because it's kind of hard to talk about yourself in a way that's like, what makes me really great? Like, why am I awesome? That's like a really hard thing to do. Like when I was first doing it, I had to go ask my sisters, be like, guys, why am I awesome? Like, what makes me cool? Like, what makes me great? And they started saying things about me. I was like, oh, I guess that is true. So it's easy to kind of let our insecurities and thoughts about ourselves be like not super awesome, but you really are great. Like each and every one of us is great. And so there are things about you that make you great and unique and special. And so what are they? Like don't be afraid to just list it out. Like you are great. You have these amazing strengths that help you. And this is the thing about the strengths. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen Rudy. It's a football movie, but it's about this kid who like had this major desire to want to play football, but it wasn't one of his strengths. Like playing football was not something he was strong at. So he ended up taking this path of most resistance, essentially, for like 12 seconds of playtime. And so he put all this time and effort and work into basically a weakness to overcome that weakness to like have 12 seconds of fulfilling his dream. So, and we look at that kind of a show as Americans and we're like, oh my gosh, it's the American dream. That's amazing. But really, like looking at that, it's like that is the path of most resistance. Like that guy could have, instead of spending all the time and energy that he did for like 12 seconds of something he wasn't very good at, he could have put all that time and energy focusing on the things that he really was good at, and it could have been something way bigger and more amazing. You know what I mean? So think about that with your strengths, what they are, and think about them as, I know a lot of times we focus on our weaknesses and how to make our weaknesses better, but think about it in a different way. If you focus on your strengths, the things that you're really, really good at, and how you can make your strengths better. So, and even after taking my strengths test, I even looked at my husband differently, like things that I didn't realize were a strength of his that I almost thought of it because it wasn't the same as me. I kind of thought of it like it was a weakness or annoyance or something, but instead I'm like, dude, curiosity is like such your strength, or logic, you are so good at that, So now I start looking at people with these things that that are their strengths that make them special. And so those top 5 things are, and I would recommend taking both tests. So I've taken 3, and each one kind of gives you a couple other ones that are kind of on top. So just make a list. Like if you have 10 strengths, like that, even better, things that you're great at. So that's about the strengths. So I want you to go, after you take your strengths test, go through and start answering all these questions. Like what makes you great? What's something that you're super passionate about? What are things that excite you about having a business? And then what is something that you can do for others? And what are things that you're good at? So like, just start answering these questions. How can you leave a person better than you found them? And you want to think about it in terms of your Color Street business, okay? So like, how can you uplift your team? If you don't have a downline, like think about how you can uplift other people or your future team, So that is kind of like your first step. And then the next thing is kind of developing your why. And I know that we've talked about, oh, you have to have a why. And a lot of you, like Carrie, you have a really amazing why, you know, and so do you, Jenny. Amber, I don't really know your why, honestly. But anyway, it's so important to develop your why. And it's something that we always talk about, but I had never looked at it the way I did after going through this course. And so this is kind of how you develop your why. You like, these are questions to ask yourself, and then it'll kind of like come to you. It'll really solidify your why. So what matters most to you? Make a list of things that you really, really value. So for me, it's my family. Like, I am obsessed with my family. They really matter to me. I like, the thing I value the most is spending time with them, like intentional, quality, good time. My love language is quality time. So if I get to hang out with the people I love, I'm like a happy person, you know. Things that I'm really interested in, things that give you a deeper sense of purpose. Where do you add really great value, and what inspires you and like makes you come alive? So like, I'm a weirdo, and things that I really love are making like Excel spreadsheets and my templates. Like, those things inspire me. Not everybody is like that, but I am an achiever and like a doer. That's one of my strengths. And so being like an organizational guru is something that like I enjoy doing. Okay. So that's kind of developing your why. So you've got your strengths, your why, and then we're going to kind of talk about developing and brainstorming your purpose. And so this is kind of where you're going to start coming up with how you are going to be different from other stylists. And you're not just selling them nails, you're selling them you, and the nails are like a bonus. So when you're brainstorming your purpose, think about things like, what do people count on you for? Or like, if someone's struggling with something and they come to you for advice, like, what is it that they're coming to you for? So like for me, I have had people in the past, because I have a degree in exercise and nutrition, I've had people be like, can you come and create like a template worksheet for me for my workouts? Or can you create a, you know, I've created like these amazing Excel document tables for people. Or I've, you know me, I'm creating party templates and other like random worksheets, templates, like organizing stuff. You know, people are always like, I've had people be like, can you come help me organize my closet? Can you come help me organize my whatever? Like, I'm very good at organizing. That's just something people come and ask me to help them to do. And so then here it's, where do you find the greatest sense of reward and meaning in your life? So for me, it's spending time with my family. Like, I get a great sense of reward spending time with my family or spending time with my loved ones. And so this is basically how you figure out your purpose. So like, where do your skills and your expertise and your strengths intersect with the things that you really love and value and what you're really good at? So like, I'll give you my example. So like I've said, I love valuing time. I love spending time with my family. And I'm really good at organizing and like time management. So what I can then do is teach people, and this gets into my niche here that I've highlighted here in yellow. So you're in the beauty market. Everybody's in the beauty market, and the sub-market is nails. That's something we all have the same, right? So to make yourself stand out, you've got to have a niche. And so my niche is helping other women make an extra hour in their day so they have time to run a work-at-home business and actually have time to do their nails. And I should add, spend time with their family, you know? So basically, you know, I love spending time with my family. I'm good at organizing and helping others like organize their time. So that's something that I can do. I can help other women organize and be intentional with their time, so that way they have time to either do their nails or take time to do their at-home business. Does that make sense? It's like, see how I have the nail polish aspect, so people can totally still buy nails from me, but I'm offering them something on top of it that's going to make them want to come to me because I'm different from other stylists. Does that make sense? So what you got to do, and the thing is we're going to talk about your avatar and your target audience next, because these are your people. Like, this is the whole your vibe attracts your tribe thing. So this is how you want. So basically, like, I want to start attracting people who need my help. right? And so say you, like, I know Jenny, you were talking a little bit about helping other people with some like mental health, and that's like a great one to do with nails. Like that's a great example because people really struggle these days with like anxiety, depression. And if it's something that you have experienced, and you can help other people with that, you know, you can definitely add in a whole element with the nails, because like self-care, taking care of yourself, you know, that's a huge part of overcoming anxiety and depression. And so many people connect on that level. Like that's an awesome place to go. And I also want to mention, just because I'm saying, okay, I'm good at organizing and the time thing, it's not like that's taken. Like if that's something that resonates with you, then that is totally something you can do too. It's not like I have a monopoly on the time, you know, helping other people figure out how to have more time. Just like, you know what I mean? So like, no matter what, because you're unique and because you have your own separate strengths, what you end up having a niche in is going to attract your tribe. So, okay, so let's talk about the avatar target audience thing real quick. So I don't know if you guys have heard of an avatar before. It's not like, you know, a blue creature from the movie Avatar. What an avatar is this is something that bloggers do. So what they do is they create a person in their mind, and that is the person that they write to. So if you've ever like read a blog post or a Facebook post or a Facebook ad, and you're like, feel like they're kind of reading your mind, or you are really resonating with it, then you are that person's avatar. So, and you are like who they're targeting, if that makes sense. So basically you need to make up that person. And here's a hint. It's probably you. So what I mean by that is, so I want to help women create more time in their life. And so that way they have time to spend with their family, do their nails, and do an at-home business. So I used to be that person, right? So like I had a business, or I started a business, and then I was really struggling with time management, and I had to create a system in order for me to be successful and not totally like leave my family in the dust. You know, it was either like I was really focusing on my business and being a really crappy mom, or I'd be a really great mom and my business would suffer. And it was because I lacked time management skills. And so I developed a system that really, really works. And now I can have it all. I can manage my time really well and be intentional with my time with my family. And so essentially what I've done is I am now several steps ahead of my avatar. So I can help them with their problem. So, you know, their problem is basically what my problem was, which was wanting to start a business, but they don't have the time, or you know, they're currently in a business and they are really struggling to keep their head above water, or they're just like a stay-at-home mom who has no time for themselves because they don't have a good system to just like manage their home and their time and their family. And so essentially coming to me, they'll be able to get that system in addition to nails kind of thing. So when you think about your avatar, you got to think about the problems they're going through, and they were probably problems that you were going through but have overcome, and now you can show them how to overcome this problem. So like in the case of mental health, you know, you went through a time where you were really, really down, you know, or really, really struggling with anxiety, and then you figured out some steps. You took certain steps to help you get through that issue, and now you can show other people how to get there. Does that make sense? So so that's what you just have to start brainstorming, and that's what these questions are going to help you do. So going through your avatar, what's the biggest result that a person can achieve through your products or your business? You know, like there were a lot of people in that info group workshop we did. A lot of people, like I have a girl who is joining on Friday who went through and read about some anxiety posts, how working their Color Street business has helped with anxiety. And she's like been experiencing so much anxiety that really resonated with her. And now she's really excited to start her business because she's gonna, you know, she's excited to help get over, have something to help her get over the anxiety she's been experiencing. So describe either somebody you've already helped or who you would really like to clone. And this can totally be you. So like you need to find people who were where you were at, if that makes sense. What is the biggest problem your audience is struggling with? So like in my case, they're really, really struggling with time management. They want to work a business, but they just aren't finding the time, but they know if they had a better time management system, they'd be able to fit it in. What frustrates your person? What keeps your perfect audience up at night, worried or fearful? Like, what are they thinking about at night? You know, that's keeping them up. What's something that humiliates them? What are they trying to avoid? What's the cost of staying right where they're at? Like, how bad can things become if they don't fix it? That sort of thing. What is the biggest mistake your audience is making right now? So, and hint, this is related to the problem that you solve in your business. So, Sharice, can you mute yourself? Do you mind? So then what does your audience complain about when talking to family and friends? What is a problem or pain that they feel that they need to solve? What are 3 things that frustrate them? What does your audience want more of? What do they want to do to change their life and circumstances? Like, what are they dreaming about? What are their goals? What interests do they have outside their business? What's motivating them or what's lacking motivation? So these are all amazing questions to ask to help you really narrow down who your avatar is, okay? And at this point, you need to take a piece of paper and write it down. My avatar's name is Hazel. They are 31 years old. They have young kids at home. Like, you need to be able to describe them like they are your best friend. So this includes their name, the things they like, the things they don't like. What do they like to drink? What do they like to eat? Like, are they a coffee lover? Do they love to drink wine? Are they water only? You know, like, what is their spiritual life like? What do they like to do for fun? You need to get really, really specific because, like, for example, I love Grey's Anatomy, and I'll start to attract people who love Grey's Anatomy. If that makes sense. So, like, because I will say, like, I can post to my Instagram stories, like, oh my gosh, can you believe what's going on in Grey's Anatomy? Or this episode had me in tears or whatever. And like, my avatar will probably like Grey's Anatomy too. So it's like a relatable thing. So you need to know where they shop. Like, are they Target or are they like Anthropologie? You know, like, where do they shop? What do they like to do? You know, do they love to read? Do they like to crochet? Like, you think about these kinds of things. And then the reason why this is so important, and when you can go through this whole list of questions and you can list out what you're really good at, how you can help somebody else, who your avatar is, then here's what happens is your messaging changes on social media. So like, instead of you just like posting like the latest deal and like basically spamming everybody, you know, like when you share an image from the graphics group or from corporate, when they say pedicures are live and you're just like, that's what you're posting, the same thing that all the other stylists are posting. Instead, say you do like a post about, like for me, example, about, you know, gosh, I remember when I had no time for myself and I finally found, you know, something that has really helped me to be able to just take 15 minutes for myself. And it's been such a game changer for my confidence. I feel so much more put together and so much less of a hot mess. You know, I'm going to be showing, or it, you know, it's a certain product. I'm going to be showing about it in my group. You know, if you want to come learn about it, you know, I'd love to either like send you a free sample or come in my group and watch me demo it, that sort of thing. Like, when you start to know who you're talking to exactly, then what happens is when you're posting, what you need to do is take like a printout of what you've written down your avatar is, like who exactly your avatar is. You keep it next to your computer, like as you're typing, and think about, okay, I'm typing to Hazel, my avatar. And when you're writing, it's like you're writing a text to your friend, you know, or to your avatar, you know, like you got to think about it like that and not think all the other people who are going to be seeing this, because then what's going to happen over time is you're just going to have people following you who is your avatar. And I mean, yeah, you'll probably always have like some friends and fam on your Facebook, but they'll get it that it's more of like a business thing. But anyway, when you can get your avatar down and what you do to help down, then you know who you are talking to exactly, and then you can get your messaging right to them. So then when you're creating posts on Facebook, you're creating any kind of content in your group, then it's really going to resonate with people, and then they'll want what you have to offer, right? So this is like a whole big broad thing, but that's kind of what I'm going to leave you guys with right now. And then next time we're going to talk a little bit about kind of some market research and how basically asking your audience like what they need help with, how you can help them to give you some more ideas. Okay, so who has questions? Let me stop sharing my screen. But anybody feel free to ask questions. You can unmute yourself if you have questions, or you can type them in the chat or anything. All right, if you don't have any questions, we'll end it, but anybody? Questions? Any of it confusing? You got it down? Okay. All right, awesome. So I'm going to end it here, and I'll post this recording for everybody so you can, watch it from the beginning. But if you do have questions about this, like as you're going through the worksheet, feel free to like ask it in the group or, PM me, whatever. So, but getting this part down, which this part does take some time because it takes a lot of thinking and brainstorming. And so think about it. If you're a prayer, pray about it, like get it down. And then once you have it down, you will feel so clear. Like you guys know my group name was Polly's Place, and now it's Intentionally Polished, and it totally aligns with like what my messaging is going to be like, right? So you've got to think about that and then figure out, how you can focus it and align it to your mission. Okay. You want to think about it like it's the mission you have in life. Okay. So, all right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will get this posted, and happy Thursday. Bye.